A Conservative deputy chairman has denied being transphobic after claiming the Green Party don't know what a woman is when it put up a trans candidate in a neighbouring constituency. Tory Rachel Maclean also reportedly retweeted a social media post describing Melissa Poulton as a man who wears a wig and calls himself a proud lesbian. Maclean has said she's sorry for any offence caused to the Green candidate, but insists she will not apologise for her comments relating to the party's stance on gender ideology.
I'm very happy for any of my political opponents to be any gender or be transgender. It doesn't matter, but I'm not going to stand aside quietly and be bullied into saying that a man can be a woman. A man cannot be a woman, and a man cannot be a lesbian. It is impossible.
It comes as Kemi Badenoch has said the law needs to change to protect single-sex spaces because there are more male predators than there are trans people. The Equalities Minister claimed men are exploiting loopholes in the law to gain access to women's bathrooms and changing rooms. She also warned of the dangers of labelling people who raise such issues as transphobic. Here's the thing about Melissa Poulton is, you know, like all trans women, you know, they want to be called women, they want to be called she, her, and all that. And if you're non-binary, you want to be called they. As far as I'm concerned, you know, whatever you want to do in life, I'll go along with that. I'm very happy to do it. That's what you want me to do, I'll do it. And you have the right to live your life as you like. What worries me about this kind of slamming of Rachel Maclean, and she's been reporting to the police, just as, you know, I should have the right to call Melissa Poulton she. In a country with free speech, you should also have the right to call him if you want. So I don't think that whatever they call it, misgendering per se of a trans person should not be a crime, hate or otherwise. The fact it's in the realms of the police is just ridiculous.
Well, that's the point I was going to make, Kev. The idea that it's, you know, it's a very strange world we're kind of lived in, where you can't, you know, there is what looks like a bloke in a wig. And the fact that you say that out loud, oh my goodness, you said it's a bloke in a wig. And then bloke in the wig, who some people think is a bloke in a wig, but apparently is not, then says, I'm also a proud lesbian. I mean, what kind of upside-down, messed-up world are we living in here? The idea that you're not supposed to, at any level, go, this isn't adding up.
I don't think you are a lesbian. Yeah, exactly.
You're clearly not a lesbian.
There is an element of good faith that needs to be mutual. If we're going to accept that you are whatever you say you want to be,
we should be kind.
But there should be an element of good faith in how they behave towards the public as well. That is clearly a wig on a person with XY chromosomes, also biologically known as a male. That's a bloke in a wig. That's not factually incorrect. That is true. I think for this person to cosplay in this way as a woman with a pink wig, then a blonde wig, and then a red wig, all of which are very poor quality because I happen to know something about wigs. I mean, are we supposed to assume that this person is acting in good faith? They're clearly taking the mickey. And I don't think it's fair for the public to be accused of bigotry when this person is clearly just taking the mick.
But I also don't think it's fair that, you know, we have all decided because that person, you know, isn't skinny, doesn't have the best
nothing to do
wig,
with it.
doesn't, you know, isn't slick, isn't as well dressed as you would like, that you've decided that they're a bloke in a wig. Look,
they are.
That person identifies how they identify. They should be treated with that respect.
But not by law,
sorry,
Ian,
Ian
not by
said
law.
If I identify as the Queen, would you call me Her Majesty?
Listen,
don't you respect me?
But you know
don't you
that's
respect
a ridiculous argument.
No, I'm being serious.
The end of the
I'm
day,
at
the end of the day, we do need to treat people with respect, and we do need to be kind. I don't necessarily agree that I don't necessarily agree that it needs to be a police issue, but I also don't think that that Rachel Maclean should be taking the mick either. She shouldn't be doing that.
This person is taking the mick.
But it's about standards in public life on both ends.
I think what just saying about your opponent, that's a bloke in a wig and not a lesbian and so on, you're obviously trying to hurt feelings and you're trying to make a point. I mean, I can't understand where Esther's coming from completely. When you look at those pictures, that individual does look pretty ridiculous. So what Esther's sort of saying is that she's inviting ridicule, but it doesn't actually mean that sitting politicians should plough in and heap that ridicule. And actually, Kemi Badenoch's points are much more relevant to the debate, because she, funnily enough, she sounded more reasonable to me today, and she was making the point that it's very unfortunate we have some nasty, predatory men out there who are trying to use the fact that society has become more trans-friendly for their own nasty, nasty
But it does come down to this. This is what this issue is about. I agree with you, Afua, absolutely. Respect them. You know, if you want to be a trans woman, respect that person. Call her and she. But it cannot be an issue of law. If I don't want to respect them and I want to call them a bloke in a wig, then I should be able to, because causing offence and not being kind is not a legal issue.